Imagine trying to bake a cake without a recipe. You might know the general idea: flour, sugar, eggs, some butter, but without a clear set of steps, there's a good chance you'll end up with something that looks more like a science experiment than dessert. The same principle applies to procurement. Sure, you might know that it involves buying things for the organization, but without a clear process to follow, you're likely to end up with chaos instead of a well-functioning system. In this lesson, we're going to dive into the typical procurement cycle and explore the key steps involved in turning that chaos into a finely tuned process that runs as smoothly as buttercream frosting. Let's start with the basics. The procurement cycle is the process that organizations follow to acquire goods and services. Think of it as the recipe that ensures everything is done in the right order, at the right time, and with the right ingredients. The procurement cycle consists of several key steps, each playing a vital role in the success of the overall process. From identifying what you need to making sure it arrives on time and meets your standards, the procurement cycle is a journey that involves careful planning, execution, and monitoring. Step 1. Identifying needs. The first step in the procurement cycle is identifying what the organization needs. This is like deciding what kind of cake you want to bake: chocolate, vanilla, carrot. In procurement, this step involves understanding the specific goods or services required to meet the organization's objectives. Whether it's raw materials for production, office supplies, or a new software system, accurately identifying needs is crucial because it sets the foundation for the entire procurement process. But this isn't just about saying, "We need more pens." It's about understanding the quantity, quality, and specifications of what's needed. This often involves input from various departments within the organization to ensure that the needs are well-defined and aligned with the overall business strategy. Get this step wrong, and you might end up with a cake that's missing a key ingredient, or worse, a cake nobody wants to eat. Step 2. Supplier sourcing. Once you know what you need, the next step is finding out where to get it. This is where supplier sourcing comes into play. Think of this step as shopping around for the best ingredients. Do you want the organic eggs, the free-range ones, or the ones on sale at the local market? In procurement, supplier sourcing involves identifying potential suppliers who can provide the required goods or services. But it's not just about finding the first supplier that pops up on Google. Supplier sourcing involves evaluating suppliers based on several criteria such as price, quality, reliability, and reputation. Organizations might use a request for information, RFI, or a request for proposal, RFP, to gather detailed information from potential suppliers, ensuring they choose the best one for their needs. Selecting the right supplier is critical because it directly impacts the cost, quality, and delivery of the goods or services. Step 3. Supplier evaluation and selection. Now that you've found a few potential suppliers, it's time to evaluate and select the best one. This step is like taste testing different frosting options before deciding which one to slather on your cake. Supplier evaluation and selection involve a detailed analysis of the supplier's capabilities, pricing, and terms of service. During this step, procurement professionals might conduct supplier audits, request samples, or even visit supplier facilities to get a better understanding of their operations. The goal is to ensure that the selected supplier can meet the organization's needs not just once, but consistently over time. This step also involves negotiating terms and conditions to ensure that the organization gets the best possible deal. Remember, just like with frosting, the cheapest option isn't always the best. Sometimes it's worth paying a little extra for quality. Step 4. Purchase order PO creation. With the supplier selected and terms agreed upon, the next step is to create a purchase order, PO. This is like writing down your cake recipe before you start baking. A purchase order is a formal document that specifies the details of the purchase, including the quantity, price, delivery date, and payment terms. It's the official green light that signals to the supplier, "Yes, we're going ahead with this order." The PO serves as a legally binding contract between the organization and the supplier, so it's important to get the details right. It's also a key document for tracking the procurement process, ensuring that everything happens as planned. Once the PO is issued, the ball is in the supplier's court to deliver the goods or services as specified. Step 5. Order fulfillment. Now that the PO is in place, it's time for the supplier to do their part, order fulfillment. This step is like putting the cake in the oven and waiting for it to bake. The supplier is responsible for delivering the goods or services according to the terms specified in the PO. This might involve manufacturing products, packing and shipping them, or providing the requested services. Order fulfillment also involves coordination between the supplier and the organization's logistics team to ensure that the delivery is made on time and in good condition. Any delays, shortages, or issues during this step can cause disruptions in the organization's operations, so it's crucial that everything goes according to plan. Step 6. Delivery and inspection. Once the goods arrive or the services are provided, it's time to inspect the delivery. This is the moment when you take the cake out of the oven to see if it's baked to perfection. Delivery and inspection involve checking the goods or services to ensure they meet the required quality standards and specifications. This might include visual inspections, testing, or even third-party verification. If everything checks out, the goods are accepted and the procurement process moves forward. But if there are any issues, such as damaged goods, incorrect quantities, or subpar quality, this step might involve rejecting the delivery, requesting replacements, or renegotiating terms with the supplier. Just like with a cake, you don't want to serve something that's undercooked or missing a key ingredient. Step 7. Invoicing and payment. With the goods or services accepted, it's time to settle the bill, invoicing and payment. This step is like paying the baker after they've delivered your cake. The supplier will issue an invoice based on the terms agreed upon in the PO, and the organization's finance department will process the payment. It's important to carefully review the invoice to ensure it matches the PO and that there are no discrepancies. Payment terms can vary, with some organizations opting for immediate payment, while others might have net 30, 60, or even 90-day terms. Timely payment is crucial for maintaining good relationships with suppliers and ensuring that the organization's credit standing remains strong. Step 8. Record keeping and documentation. Even after the payment is made and the goods are in use, the procurement process isn't quite finished. The final step is record keeping and documentation. This is like keeping a scrapbook of your cake-making adventure, complete with photos, recipes, and notes for next time. Record keeping involves documenting every step of the procurement process, from the initial need identification to the final payment. This includes maintaining records of RFIs, RFPs, POs, invoices, and any communication with suppliers. Proper documentation is essential for audits, performance reviews, and future procurement activities. It also helps organizations track spending, identify trends, and make more informed decisions in the future. Now that we've walked through the typical procurement cycle, you might be wondering, why is it so important to follow this process? Can't we just skip a few steps and get to the good part? Well, you could, but that would be like trying to bake a cake without preheating the oven. It's not going to end well. Following a structured procurement process ensures that the organization gets the best value for its money while minimizing risks. It helps prevent costly mistakes, such as overpaying for goods, receiving poor quality products, or facing legal issues due to poorly drafted contracts. A well-defined procurement process also promotes transparency and accountability, ensuring that everyone involved in the process knows their role and responsibilities. Moreover, following the procurement process allows organizations to build strong relationships with suppliers. By consistently following the same steps, suppliers know what to expect and can better meet the organization's needs. This leads to more reliable deliveries, better pricing, and ultimately, a more efficient operation. In today's fast-paced world, technology plays a vital role in streamlining the procurement process. From e-procurement platforms to supply chain management software, technology helps organizations automate many of the steps in the procurement cycle, making the process faster, more efficient, and less prone to errors. For example, e-procurement platforms allow organizations to manage RFIs, RFPs, POs, and invoices in a centralized system, reducing paperwork and improving communication with suppliers. Supply chain management software provides real-time visibility into inventory levels, delivery schedules, and supplier performance, helping organizations make more informed decisions. Additionally, data analytics tools help procurement teams analyze spending patterns, identify opportunities for cost savings, and forecast future needs. This allows organizations to be more proactive in their procurement activities rather than simply reacting to immediate needs. While the procurement process is essential for organizational success, it's not without its challenges. One common challenge is managing supplier relationships, especially when dealing with multiple suppliers in different locations. Keeping track of all the moving parts can be difficult, and even small miscommunications can lead to big problems down the line.